Commodity Classic opening here today, and took some shots around the Koch Agronomic Services booth, and I know it caught you talking to a lot of your customers coming by the booth, and let's talk about that. First day, day one's down, but a great day it was.
It was a busy day on the trade room floor. It was incredible. Record number of farmers and lots of people asking lots of very good questions about our products.
Absolutely, and Martin, you made a comment here, kind of but it is very real. They come by the booth, and a lot of times talking about our topic tonight, weather.
Well, that's a lot of the first thing that the farmers want to converse about. And you say, how are you doing and where are you from? And this is, how's it going? They say, well, we're either dry or we're wet, wondering about the spring coming up. So it's always, the weather is a key topic for farm, as it might always be.
Absolutely, and we can work that certainly into our topic tonight in conversation about nitrogen efficiency here. That AGROTAIN and the Koch Agronomic Services have products that can answer that, save money, and we've got a great story to tell. And Greg, on Monday night we had some videos, research, documentation from various parts of the country. We're going to do that more tonight.
Yeah, we have a great show lined up. We're going to look at some research results. We're going to talk to some people who actually use AGROTAIN. It's going to be a good show.
Absolutely. And let's get started. Tom Snipes is Vice President of Commercial Operations for Koch Agronomic Services. I enjoyed having some time with him at the Koch Agronomic Services booth here at the Commodity Classic here earlier today, and we talked about this new company, Koch Agronomic Services, just over a year old, and talked about the company and all the background and the great products that they do have. And here, so again, Tom Snipes, your Vice President of Commercial Operations. It's about Koch Agronomic Services, a new name on RFD-TV, but not a new name in the agricultural industry.
No, actually, we are a new business that we set up within Koch Fertilizer a little over about a year ago. And so we're a wholly owned subsidiary of Koch Fertilizer, but the focus of our group is really more around like enhanced efficiency fertilizers, innovative nutrient management. And so the first piece of that was actually from a sister company, Georgia Pacific Plant Nutrition. We purchased the assets of that, which included like the Nitamin product line. And then we brought that over, and then the most significant thing that we've done recently is the acquisition of the assets of AGROTAIN International. So we're pretty excited about it. Honestly, we're probably as excited as anything about the a lot of the resources that we're putting behind R&D, agronomy, very much of a sound science approach, and so we're really excited about the future and about some of the innovation that we can bring to U.S. agriculture.
Yeah, let's talk a little bit more about R&D. Is so very important for the lifeblood of any company. Talk about Koch Agronomic Services.
Well, we started out with some of the R&D from the Georgia Pacific Plant Nutrition side, and as well as with Dr. Greg Schwab, who's our Director of Agronomy here. You guys have had a great chance to talk to him a number of times. So Kurt's adding on some great resources. Kurt Gabrielson, who manages R&D, and so he's got some PhD chemists that we're bringing online. So we're really looking at a lot of different areas, a lot of innovative things in nutrient management. I mean, if you look at this side of the business, we probably haven't really seen the level of innovation, say as like genetics or crop protection and things like that. So we really feel like there's a great opportunity there to take the basis that we've got with AGROTAIN, the good base of knowledge, the people that we have, and extend that and really go out and build a pretty broad product portfolio in the future.
You mentioned AGROTAIN there. A brief review of the products under the Koch umbrella now and what they do.
AGROTAIN nitrogen stabilizer is a urease inhibitor, and so all that really says is I think we've got a great visual representation with the end gassing off, but nitrogen, particularly like surface applied urea, can have a high level of volatility. So AGROTAIN it controls that volatility, keeps the nitrogen in place so it's available for the crop. And then we've got a couple of other additional products, Super U, which is actually a pre-made finished product, and we have like what we call triple action. And not only does it reduce the volatilization of urea, but then it also has got another component that reduces leaching and denitrification. And then also we've got a product for UAN as well, and that product is called AGROTAIN Plus. And again, it's also got the triple action, controls the volatilization, as well as the leaching and denitrification.
Again, that's Tom Snipes, one of the vice presidents at Koch Agronomic Services, and just so great. Everybody we talked to at your trade show booth there, excited about a year under your belts, and a lot of people coming together. Just a great company with great products.
It's an exciting time. We are a year old, but the AGROTAIN asset acquisition happened in October, so a lot of the AGROTAIN guys still are just really brand new still to the company. But it's an exciting time.
And coming into the growing season, can't be a better time to really launch this partnership, I guess, the marriage, if you will, Martin.
Oh yeah, it's a great marriage. We have a great resource base from Koch Agronomic Services, and we had a great technology base from AGROTAIN International. We brought those two wonderful resources together, and we're charging ahead.
That's what Tom said. Yeah, that background, the R&D, certainly now a whole lot different than a year ago. Well, the other night we promised to re-air the long-term weather forecast. Martin talked about all the weather here, and our guest then from Planalytics was Jed Lafferty. And I know we've had a lot of requests for this clip, so let's get right to it. Here's Jed Lafferty from Planalytics. It was back on February 6th. This is talking about some of the estimates for what weather might look like around the country here in March. We got a peak here for March as we look ahead now. Let's take a look again. This is, first of all, the temperature outlook for March. Let's talk about that.
So again, looking at March, we see below normal temperatures above the northern, or across the northern tier, and above normal temperatures across the southern tier. Now, when we talk about normal, we're talking about averages that go back, 10 years in this case when we're looking at temperatures. But when we look at precipitation, and this is very key as we're talking about what we have found this past year, again, below normal precipitation, we're seeing that in the Rockies, we're seeing in Southern California already, there are going to be some water issues out there. In Texas and New Mexico and even around the Delta, your area, Blake, you're going to be seeing below normal precipitation. But I should point out that even if we're talking about below normal precipitation or normal in the Ohio and Tennessee Valley, I was in Indiana last week and I passed numerous flooded fields. That's going to be a real issue that they've got. In fact, as we look at kind of wrapping things up and how we see 2012 shaking out, one of the main stories that we're focusing on is the fact that conditions are so wet in the Ohio Valley, and it's a carryover from last fall. We think that there's either going to be a late planting or there might even be some replanting from some folks that might try to get in too soon.
Curious, if we can go back to the slide on the March precipitation slide there, and the small area in the Minnesota and the Dakotas there. Can you explain this? Again, you're not a meteorologist, but all of a sudden, a little bubble right there, like a light bulb shape or whatever, in the Dakotas and Minnesota there, that is above precipitation in March. What is causing something like that?
Well, you may not realize it, but volcanoes have an awful lot to do with the precipitation that we're seeing right now. Over in the Kamchatka Peninsula of the former Soviet Union, there are 4 active volcanoes. There is also a volcano in Iceland that was very notable a couple of years ago. Those things in combination have had a significant effect on the precipitation that we see. Now, one thing I should point out is that while we have been very concerned in previous years about flooding in the Red River Valley, the upper Missouri Valley, we don't think it's going to be as serious a problem as we saw last year and the 2 previous years.
That would be good news for those people.